Starting from the deck I built from the rectangular template with the drop deck, let's look at how to modify the deck after you have finished the sketch and clicked Build Deck. There are a number of items that can be adjusted. In the options for drop down, there is an image selector. It allows you to select between the main deck, highlighted in green here, and the drop deck when I select it. Depending on which one you select, you can then adjust the deck height, the foundation, framing, decking, or guards. So I've clicked the main deck in this instance. I'm going to click the drop down for deck heights. It tells me that it is 5 foot off finished grade and it is even with the main floor. I'm going to stick with that and then go to the foundation. I then have an area where I can pick the pier type. You can pick between Bigfoot and circular piers and footing tubes, circular piers on their own, Bigfoots on their own, footing tubes on their own. You can also pick a helical pile, square footing pads with square piers, square pier with circular pier, or a Titan anchor or a deck block. But these are only of use when the deck is below 24 inches above grade. I will deselect that. You can also decide what the pier setback distance is from the building. It's set to auto right now, but you could uncheck that and then select something. You can set the pier setback distance from the side of the deck, so where they come in. Perhaps you don't want to have this middle pier and you want to have a bigger cantilever on this. So if I select perhaps 3'4", and I can make multiple changes in here, and after I'm fine with doing that, then I can hit save selection and it will rebuild the deck. So I'm going to select save selections, and we'll likely lose this pier here because we're going to have a 3'4" cantilever on this. So you can see now it's just switched down to 4 piers instead of 6. I'm just going to go back up into here, go back into edit decks. Now we have a messages in here, but I'll do those at the end so that every time I save the selection, it doesn't bring these back. So I'm going to bring that back to the middle here. That's it for the foundation. You can go into framing. We're still in the main deck. You can decide, do you want built-up lumber, timber, or steel wide flange beams. You can pick different plies, 2, 3, and 4 plies, 2x8, 2x10, and 2x12. You can decide on what you want the cantilever to be from the front of the deck. So right now it's set to 1'4", but you could also, in Ontario, you can have up to 4-foot cantilevers. In the other provinces, you'd be maxed out at the 2 foot unless you wanted to override the default, and that may require an engineer to sign off. You can change the joists from 2x8 to 2x10 to 2x12s. It'll tell you what the maximum span is after it's framed. You can change the joist spacing from 12-inch to 16-inch. The default is 16. You could rotate the joists so they run the opposite direction. Reverse the joist spacing direction so that it would start with the 16 on this side and go the opposite way. This one's square, so it's going to be equal on both directions. And prefer main deck joist direction. So that's it for the framing. Now we can click on the decking. You can pick deck boards, 5/4, 2x6 pressure treated, or composite. You can pick the spacing between the boards, the deck overhang, and then also if you want to do picture frame decking, So maybe you want the boards to have a rim around them and all the rest of them come into the side of them. You can include the exterior blocking. So if I add that in here, you'll see, I'll click that there and we'll see it come in on each side here. There it is right there. So that allows you to run 1 or 2 boards along. You can actually add center ones. Let me go back into edit decks. You could add blocking at the building if it was required. It won't be on these because of course the joists are running perpendicular to it. And you can add interior blocking and then you pick the distance that you want. So maybe I'll do say 4 feet. Come back down here, hit save selection, and it'll put a couple more rows in the middle of this. It's not exact because it went 4 and 4 and then it went 4 from the other side. So, but at least it'll add in these for your material estimate. And then the last one here is guards. So you can choose the guard type that you want. You can do wood with wood pickets, which is a building code. Building code again, wood with the metal pickets. And then there's a 3 engineered, wood with glass, metal with pickets, and metal with glass. And those would be one of the engineered products. You can remove the guards only when it's below the 23 5/8 from finished grade. Without it, you can't click this. So these are the options for deck 1. You could do the same by clicking either the drop down, picking number 2, or just picking the picture here selects it, and then you can change different ones for this. So if you have multiple decks and different landings and so forth, you can click on each one of these and that will adjust each of these items to suit. And that's it for that.